Hey everyone, this is my reaction to the 12th and final episode of Super Cub. Yeah, we are in that kind of period of time when one by one the shows that I'm watching just kind of end, and I kind of have to hope that next season has some good stuff as well. But yeah, Super Cub. Last episode we had a bit of a close call there with Shi-chan. Luckily we were able to save her and kind of transition to a nice sleepover, right? I mean, it had some sad aspects with the bike and stuff, but overall I think we had fun together. And this is the final episode, so I guess we'll find out what we get. So let's jump on in. 3, 2, 1, play. Bum 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 bum. Ah, there's our character. Smelling in that spring air. No, I see her breath. It might still be winter. Yeah, we did decide that last episode. Yeah, that happened. Net cafes, best place to lodge. There's never anyone there to say goodbye to her, so it's a little bit sad. The important thing is we're now together. Gotta seize that spring. Like we season the day, but season spring. I mean, last time we see this opening. Yeah, some of the sites in this opening we've gotten really familiar with over the course of this show. Our helmets all lined up. Ah, bread. Okay, wasn't sure what that was. Yeah, that's pretty much the advantage of it. That's good. That's reassuring. This is the final episode. This is the final episode, so we do kind of have to. We are on a bit of a time limit, so. He's riding on the back. So it does have a blinker. 3 hours. Yeah, we're more adventurous than that. I'm gonna miss these characters. She just looks so excited. It's a good idea for a final episode, going like a long adventure on our Super Cubs. Get some quality time together. Get to see the scenery. Get to go somewhere new. Her hair is like almost the perfect shape for like a helmet. Right, gotta be careful. Gotta be cautious. Okay, wow. Never heard that before. Makes sense. Wherever the wind takes us. I had no real input on the road we should take, so. But, well. What do you say to that? Someone got outvoted. I mean, it's 2-1. Just not much you can do about that. Come on. She's just so much shorter. Like, it's hard not to notice that. Yeah. No wonder we get joked up putting her in the basket. Hey, shops. Matsu no Yasabo, that's a mouthful. Cool. That's a good point. Well, that was a brief, but I guess it was a nice stop. Are you getting tired? Your butt's starting to fall asleep. Hop on, jump on over. That'd be funny, but no, that'd be too dangerous. Like, there's so much emphasis on caution and stuff. They wouldn't do that, but that'd be cool. Like, kind of Hollywood-esque, jumping from vehicle to vehicle on the road. Squander. It's never a bad time to cook rice. The cat is trying to get it in through the door. He might succeed. You still have to get back up and shut it. Bum, bum, bum. Because my door is slightly broken, doesn't really shut all the way. You could push it open if you're determined enough. And my 20-pound cat sometimes is determined enough. The visit pretty tasty. Rush, okay, either one really, I guess, applies to. Gifu Prefecture. I wish I was more familiar with the overall geography of Japan. Like, I wish I knew all the prefecture names and where they are relative to each other. Like, I have some sporadic knowledge, but that's about it. I saw a giant bowling pin for a second. It really would suck if the cub just like stopped working like near the end of the journey. Getting that dealt with would be a giant pain, really damper the trip. Business hotel. Looks pretty hot. She agrees. I was gonna say, is that the shower door? Yeah. Getting flashbacks to the sleepover. We don't allow naked girls in here. Get back over there. Is it? I don't think I've ever heard that before. Yeah, I imagine a pretty good view from there. I mean, that's a great view. Like, just, I mean, in general, we got a lot of great views this episode. So the Cubs communicate with each other. That'd be pretty cool. Of course you do. Oh yeah, just look at that water. It's gorgeous. Kind of want to jump into it because I'm kind of sweating. Oh yeah, it's that one thing. I don't remember what it's called, but the like arc thingy in the water. There's a beach right there. Is it time for a beach episode as a final episode? And we don't have a swimsuit, so it came with like a full-fledged beach episode, but close enough. Would she do that? I mean, I can picture you doing it more than her. We'll just ride the surfboard home. I mean, you buy your cub for a bargain. That's Maizuru City. That actually sounds like a pretty cool name, Maizuru. Man, how much ground have we covered so far? I saw something in the distance. Oh, that's what that is? I actually didn't know Japan had sand dunes, so that's pretty cool. Fish. Gotta put this on Instagram. Maybe some high quality pictures were taken. Oh, we did get some crab. Man, it looks tasty. Yeah, I got to, of course, we gotta take another picture of it real quick. Friggin' young people. Lake Shinji. Those cannons back there. Yeah, quite clearly. Probably can't get us overseas, but we can go all around Japan. I think you could put the Cub on a boat, and the boat could take you overseas, I guess. But you definitely need the boat. The Cub itself won't get you there, unless you find like a nice frozen ice path or something. You know, it could be like one of those video games where you freeze the water and you like just do it over and over again, making an ice path. I think Genshin Impact had that as a thing that you could do. The Net Cafe. Imagine waking up with Reiko's arm on your chest. She's just so much shorter than them. It almost looks like they're two mothers taking their daughter on a trip. Just gonna say that now. Especially because, you know, she rides with one of them as opposed to having her own bike. That kind of amplifies that feeling. And how she's also the most outwardly expressive, excited about things, you know? Really giving that feel. I know I'm probably alone in that, but especially when they have her like in the middle. We caught it. Took us a long trip, but we finally caught spring. So do we have like a nice blanket we could put down and sit under the trees? Did we bring one? Maybe bring some sake? I know they're too young to drink it, but nobody, I'm sure nobody would mind. We're bringing that back. Uh, well, we didn't send it anywhere, but we left it behind. But here we are. We really did find a great spot. Yeah, it's much better with friends. I imagine the breeze is much less cold here. Just bottle up that wind and bring it back over. My god, these visuals. We brought it back home with us. Yes, if it wasn't for us, it'd still be winter here for sure. Aww. Glad we can make you feel better, Shi-chan. I don't bother you when I'm polishing my cub. But it's Shi-chan, so it's fine. Oh? Oh? Little cub. I mean, a cub is a cub. It's pretty cute. I'll eventually pay him back. Did they tell you how many people it killed, though? That's important to get. Yes, you can. We have much wisdom to bestow upon you about cubs, young one. Gotta really be mindful of those seasons. But yeah, she's still kind of in the honeymoon period of having her new cub. Let her enjoy it for now. I'd be kind of careful not to run over the sakura petals on the ground. I feel bad about running them over. I think you have a lot more now than you think you realize you do. Cubs only help those that help themselves. She's got her own little cub, it's great. Does you mean it's not? As much as I like seeing, you know, the two of them riding the same cub, it's nice to see them all have their own. Super Cub title drop. We end off with the title drop. I love this show. That's great, like roll credits. Yeah. Pretty sure I said at some point we gotta get this girl her own cub, so I'm glad we pretty much ended off with that. Is it fair to call this show a masterpiece? I kind of want to call this show a masterpiece. I mean, it was kind of a hard show to react to because I just kind of wanted to chill and watch it, right? Because that's the kind of show it was. And I'm still very much glad I watched it. You could definitely fall asleep to this kind of show. But okay, that I guess there's no announcement of a season 2 or anything. Okay. Well, that was the 12th and final episode of Super Cub. And it was definitely a good, very satisfying sort of final episode. For sure, right? I mean, they pretty much told us what they would do. Last episode, they told us what we would do this episode. And that was to go seize spring, essentially, because we heard about how some places already had the sakura trees blooming and all that, and they were much more spring-like. So rather than just like sitting around and waiting for spring to come to us like some kind of filthy casual, we got on our Super Cubs and rode so we could seize it ourselves. And we even, not only did we seize it, we brought it back with us. So the rest of the people where we live have us to thank for the fact that spring is now there, right? That's just a really cool thing. I can't imagine a more satisfying kind of final episode for this kind of show. I mean, it pretty much had anything you can want. It had riding the Cubs, which obviously premise of the show, you know, riding the Cubs, and with our friends, seeing new places, going on an adventure, decide what paths to take, and just seeing lots of water and sand dunes and lots of prefectures and cities and stuff, and staying at an inn, staying at a net cafe. Like, it just, as far as going on an adventure goes, they pretty much checked a lot of the boxes of things that make it an exciting thing, but at the same time they were very, you know, they took proper precaution, right? Sometimes, you know, young people going on a trip, they neglect to do that, but not these girls. They know what they're doing, right? So they didn't have any kind of preventable mishaps or anything like that, and no real mishaps just in general. Like, I don't think anything really went wrong on the trip. Even got to enjoy some of that bread, I think, at some point. I think we also got some crab and fish and took pictures and just all the good stuff. We did have a bit of a scene where they kind of reminded us of that sad bit from the previous episode, but you know, it was mostly just to showcase kind of like how much progress we made since then, you know? Like, because that scene, she was talking about, I can't remember the exact words, but, you know, wanting to get rid of winter or whatever, something like that. And we kind of like did that, you know, even though she said a cub couldn't really do that. We kind of did that anyway, right? So it's just, it's kind of, but I don't care what she says. The cub is definitely a magical device. Like, I mean, I know it does require some effort on your part, but I think it still qualifies as a special magical device for sure. So the trip was a lot of fun, for sure. And then, like, you know, when we got back, obviously we brought Spring with us, and it was great. And we also had Shi-chan finally get her own cub, like her own little cub, her little cub. It was cute. It was actually a pretty cute cub. You know, it's very kind of a different feel to her than like Reiko's hunter cub, right? And she just seems so excited to have it. And, you know, we have a lot of wisdom, cub-based wisdom we can bestow upon her, but for now we should just let her enjoy her cub as she should, you know. So, and then we just kind of all rode together. We got to see all three of them and all three of their cubs just riding together, and that was the shot we ended off on. And the line we ended off on, it had the word Super Cub as the end of the line of the end of the episode or the end of the show, and I couldn't imagine a better way to end it off, honestly. So yeah, 10 out of 10 episode for sure, for finale. Like, it felt like a satisfying ending for sure. I know this is like, at least I believe this is like a manga adaptation of a manga, right? Which I probably is still ongoing. I don't know really, but like this felt like if this was all there was, you know, there was nothing afterwards, I would be content with that. This really felt like a proper, final, satisfying kind of conclusion, right? All the girls, they got their cubs, they're riding together, they're friends, and that's what I wanted out of the show, right? You know, we started off with one girl with no friends, no nothing, pretty much no nothing, as she said, and now she has a couple friends. She's got her own cub. She's got all these memories and experiences and a sense of adventure fulfilling her soul. All the good stuff, really. So I'd say she came a long way for sure. Ugh. And usually I talk about a show overall, but there's really not too much to say about the show overall, because it wasn't like super plot focused. It was just kind of character development focused, right? And that's really what that really was the whole show, right? Koguma focus, you know, starting off where she was then and where she is now, and everything that she did between those 2 points, giving her a much more fulfilled, happy life now than she had back then. And I really enjoyed the show. Like, you know, it's kind of hard to compare anime to each other, right? So I try not to. But this show, as far as like what it was trying to accomplish, I think it did so like perfectly. you know. This show just, I don't know, not sure if I can really put it into words, but just, this overall felt like a very satisfying show. Like, it did everything it set out to do extremely well. That's why I kind of want to call it a masterpiece, because it really didn't have any big flaws in regards to what it was trying to do as a show. I was always captivated regardless of what was happening. And and I really just am glad I watched it. Or I want to say more about it. I can't really think of much more to say that I haven't, already said multiple times through the course of watching it. Just a great cast of characters that I always enjoyed seeing them grow as characters and meet each other and get their cubs up and running, get their cubs modified, get the new hangout spot to eat food, drink drinks, have that as a new base of operations. I would call it that. But yeah, I really don't have much more to say for the show. Just I really enjoyed it because this kind of flew under my radar initially. It didn't really jump out at me as something I need to watch. But as I was kind of looking for maybe a couple more shows to add to things that I'm watching, this was kind of mentioned as being a pretty good slice of life show. So I gave it a try on that basis, and I'm really glad I did, because I feel like if I did not watch the show, I really would have been missing out. And this, as far as like slice of life anime go, this definitely has its own high tier spot on my inner slice of life anime shelf that I would put it at, right? Like, it's not a forgettable show, right? Like, a lot of shows are just kind of like digestible. You take them in, you're like, okay, that was fine, I guess, and you move on to the next season. But I do think this is one of those shows that's gonna actually stick with me for a while. Like, only time will tell, of course, but I think it is, right? So yeah, I really enjoyed this show. If you enjoyed my reactions to it, I do hope you click the like button, support me on Patreon, and maybe watch future videos that I do as well, because I definitely plan on doing that, I'll be looking at next season's chart and see if there's anything on there that I want to watch, if there's anything on the next season that you think is really good that you're looking forward to, feel free to let me know as well. That may increase the chances of me checking it out if it's, seems like something that I would like. But yeah, bye-bye.